Gentlemen, welcome back to the World of Wrestling podcast. Here today to discuss about AEW Dynamite, April 9th, 2025 review. Alright, I'm going on record to say this to you guys. I've reached my breaking point with this company. If by July, all in, we do not see Jon Moxley losing this AEW World title to whoever wins this fucking gosh darn Owen Hart Cup tournament, I'm done. I was really disappointed they did not pull the trigger on Swerve Strickland. I really am disappointed. Based on everything that happened leading into the show, Hangman Page looking like he was going to help Hangman Page win, or Swerve Strickland win the AEW World title, and everything else in between. We didn't get that, and the Young Bucks are the reason for this occurring. I've reached my breaking point with this company at the end of the day. This company's got to make a change, and they got to do it by all in. And that's being generous, honestly. I do not see myself buying another single pay-per-view until we see things change with this company, because I don't think they deserve what they gave us this past Sunday, what they gave us at Revolution. It was a great show overall, but then in the main event, it was a lackluster of a show that was absolute shit. They had to redo it over again to make it entertaining, but they had to put someone through fucking nails on a 2x4. Which was outrageous and insane. And I've been saying it for a while now. Somebody on this show is going to get killed. Literally on national television. We are going to have an Owen Hart type of situation. And we're going to be watching it live and see it occur. Because these people are out of their fucking minds. Then we get into the storyline problems that this company has. Telling stories. They had the Young Bucks come out to explain themselves, which is nice change of pace that they explain as to why they did what they did. But the reasoning behind it, absolutely fucking ridiculous. They claim they did it for Hangman Page so that Swerve Strickland wouldn't win the damn title. And they did it because he's their friend. And they don't forget about their friends. Interesting. Didn't they kick Hangman Page to the curb at one point because he didn't do what they wanted him to do? Like, does this company ever make any fucking sense? Do they not remember what the hell they did? I mean, I guess I can't blame them for forgetting because honestly, who the hell wants to remember this shit? This product is absolutely dreadful. In the worst status it's ever been in. Like I stated in the Dynasty review, they're in the worst state they've ever been in. This is absolutely terrible. I don't know what in the fuck they are doing, but having the Young Bucks and their explanation made absolutely no fucking sense. And then they said they have no issues with the Death Riders. Let me try to get this straight. Wasn't the Death Riders the reason why the Young Bucks left the company and disappeared without a trace? Isn't that the reasoning behind that? And now they're saying they have no issues with them? They actually share the same exact goal? Which is what exactly? We still don't really know what the whole premise around the Death Riders are. I just do not get this company. They want to make AEW better, but then in the same breath they say they want to destroy it. God almighty. The matches on the show, it was okay. They were fair. But in all honesty, if you missed it, you didn't miss anything. You miss an AEW show, you're not missing anything. And I'll tell you why you're not missing anything. because of the fact that this company doesn't care about what they're producing to us anymore. They got their deal with HBO, Time Warner, whatever the fuck you want to call them nowadays, and they're just riding this shit out. I am surprised that this company is still in business. And that's crazy to even say because this guy is a multi-millionaire. But even with all of that, being a multi-millionaire and everything else, I do not understand how in the bloody hell this company continues to produce terrible shows and still be in business. I don't get it. I really don't. And like I said in the review for Dynasty, my only reason behind why I continue to review these shows, even though they suck, is because this channel is gaining some traction. You guys are getting more in tune to the channel. And the more content I'm producing for you guys, the more you're enjoying, or otherwise you wouldn't be subscribing in the first place. So, I don't really have much of a choice, but I am forewarning you guys. If Jon Moxley retains the championship past All In, AEW is no longer being reviewed on this channel. I am not even getting paid yet because I don't have enough subscribers on this channel to continue to watch this garbage and review it. I'll find something else to replace it to give you guys the content that you're looking for. I mean, if you guys want to leave comments down below on this video to let me know if you guys would be okay with me doing that, I would greatly appreciate it. But honestly, me not getting paid for this and sitting through this garbage and watching this shit, I don't even think is worth my damn time. It is such a bore to sit through this garbage. Like I said before, I sit here, I watch this damn AEW show, and I'm not lying. I literally spend more time looking on my phone than I'm watching the actual show. I go on WrestleView.com to give you guys to read off what occurred. But in all honesty, do I care for this product? Fuck no. I don't care for this product at all. This is absolutely horrendous. So, just to kickstart things, Dynamite kicks off with a video package of Jon Moxley backstage talking. He begins by saying that this is the single greatest roster of pure talent ever assembled under one roof. I'm sorry to tell you, John, but you're all fucking the same. All you do is flips and dives, and if you watch the 8-man tag team matchup that occurs later on in the show, you'll see why. But no one can get their things together. The thing is, no one wants it. He says this is his life work that won't be bought or sold. He said the Young Bucks have returned, and it's interesting, but he is surrounded by warriors, a world champion, a king of the front, a king on the front line, but he hasn't recognized them in a long time. And they better figure it out and be careful before they make any moves. Ooh, how threatening. So Jon Moxley and Shibata get a one-on-one match where Shibata loses by a rear naked choke and is submitted. Okay, great. Out come Matthew and Nick Jackson to the ring after the match. They are face-to-face with Marina, but Moxley waves her away, and they both leave the ring to the fans booing. The Young Bucks begin to tell the fans to congratulate Jon Moxley and to show love to the AEW founding fathers, the EVPs. Fans boo and they tell them to shut the fuck up. They say that they have a few reasons as to why they did what they did to Swerve. The first is that they did it for their good friend Hangman Page. Sure. They talk about how Page never wanted Swerve to be world champion, and they love him. The fans chant, "Whose house?" Swerve house. Swerve's house. The EVPs say the the EVPs say that what they did was a peace offering to Moxley. They have no problem with him and hope that he has no problem with them. And while they were away, they realized they have things in common with him. They want the guys in the back to step up just like them. They want to change the world just like them. And they are impressed because Moxley did what they couldn't do. He succeeded in taking over AEW and even has the world title. They couldn't do that. They talk about the Death Riders working with the Elite, Jon Moxley, the world champion, and AEW founding fathers together. They asked Moxley to come back out with his boys to discuss business. Kenny Omega actually comes out. The fans are chanting for Kenny Omega. And he says he was going to the hospital months back. They pushed him off the stretcher, but he forgave them. And when he came back, he did it for the safety of the company, not for revenge. He says he used to have a friend in high school who had 2 dogs and they wouldn't stop barking. Every time he saw his friends, the 2 dogs would poop on the floor and his friend didn't care. But as time went by and more poop kept collecting and the stains left behind were becoming more evident, Kenny told him they should move back to his place. And that's how AEW was when he was not around. Fans started chanting poop or some shit. The last time they saw the EVPs, they were shredding documents, but spoiler alert, the MVPs love to brag about their money. They were tearing up receipts for their private jets, but it doesn't matter. He says if it wasn't because of the Death Riders, they almost killed AEW. He tells them that them being away did them well. Nick, he looks exactly like the 90 pounds when he left. Omega tells them he can go on, but he's thinking of cutting out the middleman for him to get in the ring and fight. Omega gets in the ring, but Okada comes out. I thought at this point Okada was going to be on Kenny Omega's side, but that actually was not the case. Boy, was I wrong. He gets on the ring apron and Swerve's music hits. Swerve comes in from behind with a steel chair and the EVPs, along with Okada, leave the ring. The fans chant Swerve's house and he throws the chair away. Omega and Swerve fist bump and Omega leaves the ring. Swerve says it's now buck hunting season. And he's here with a loaded shotgun, ready to blast on some EVPs. He tells them they couldn't leave well enough alone. As he is talking, Pac hits him from behind. So, within the first almost 30 minutes of this show, we get a match with Jon Moxley padding his wins, beating a Shibata, who's part of the Ops with Samoa Joe and Hook. Later on in the show, by the way, Samoa Joe had the audacity to challenge the Death Riders for the Trios Tag Team titles after one of their own tag team partners lost to Jon Moxley. Makes perfect sense to me. Why, they deserve every fucking thing they asked for, don't they? They haven't fucking done a damn thing on this show. Nobody fucking cares about Collision. I don't give a fuck. Anybody wants to come at me and talk to me about Collision, you're a fucking idiot. I don't review Collision. I don't watch Collision. I don't care for Collision. There are some things on Collision this coming Saturday I might take a look at and watch, but other than those few things, I don't care to watch that entire show. But there are some good things on there. FTR is going to explain why they did what they did to Adam Copeland. Why that wasn't explained tonight, I have no fucking idea, but we're going to save that for a Collision show where nobody's going to fucking watch anyway. Okay, makes perfect sense to me if you're a blithering idiot, but hey, you know. Nobody watches Collision, I'm sorry to tell you. It's a downward spiral shit fest that shouldn't exist. They should have one show a week, and that is it. Because Collision is not their version of SmackDown. It's not their version of, anything. It's not their second major show. It's like a thrown together bullshit show, 2-hour Rampage version. That's all it is. So, that's what we got in the first 30 minutes. A lame-ass explanation by the Young Bucks. An okay match with Shibata and Jon Moxley. And then Swerve's being attacked by Pac. And Kenny Omega is reigniting his rivalry with the Young Bucks. Now, I do see there's a possibility that the Young Bucks might face Swerve Strickland and Kenny Omega. That could be a possibility. But I doubt that. I believe that we're going to see Okada and Kenny Omega in a champion for champion, title for title match at All In. Probably at the Double or Nothing, we're going to get an Anarchy in the Arena type of matchup. That's probably going to happen. Or Blood and Guts. Actually, there was a mention of Blood and Guts on the show with Swerve Strickland. So, I don't know what's going on here. I hope they don't have Blood and Guts on a AEW Dynamite show. That would be fucking ridiculous. Why not save it for Double or Nothing and make it the main event? The world title doesn't need to be on the line. You have the Young Bucks with Jon Moxley and one of the, the two other goons on his Death Rider team to join up with him, with the Young Bucks, and go against 5 other guys from the AEW side of things. They could easily just do that. But, whatever. So, Pac and Swerve have a match, and Swerve ends up winning the match regardless. So, backstage, we have Renee Paquette with Adam Page. He tells her he doesn't know who he is facing, but he has to do something. He enters Swerve's locker room and asks Prince Nana where Swerve is at. He says at Dynasty, he was not trying to help Swerve. And next week, if Swerve thinks of getting in the match or in the ring, he will pick up with him where he left off. Nana tells him that there is something he has been wanting to tell him for the last year. He says he has regrets, but Paige cuts him off and tells him not to say another word, and Paige storms out, and we cut to the ring. Great. Then we have an 8-man tag team match for $400,000. Oh, wow, so somebody's getting a bonus. We get Will Ospreay, Kevin Knight, Mark Briscoe, and Speedball Mike Bailey going up against Ricochet, apparently wearing some fucking jacket while he goes out to the arena, or to the ring. It looks like Prince Nana's jacket. Now, somebody tell me what the hell that is. Sorry, that's my wife in the background talking on the phone because somebody called her. But, yeah. Like, what the hell was that about? Ricochet walking out with a fucking Prince Nana jacket. When did that happen? Did he steal it from Prince Nana's locker room with Swerve, and Ricochet, Prince Nana didn't notice it, nor Swerve. They just magically disappeared, and they went, oh well, can just find a replacement for that. What the fuck was that all about? I don't remember him coming out with a jacket at the Dynasty pay-per-view in that triple threat match. Whatever. So his partners was Beast Mortos. Oh, God. The Lucha Libre douchebag, who I could care less for, who loses all the time. And the Crew with Leo Rush and Action Andretti. Obviously, we all know who won this match. With Will Ospreay being part of the team, Will Ospreay's team won. Look, folks, I've been saying this from the get-go. I stated that Will Ospreay was going to be the guy to win this tournament and be the guy to beat Jon Moxley for the world title at All In. That is what's going to happen here, folks. There is no doubt about it. Will Ospreay is Tony Khan's golden goose, his lover, his number one right-hand man, the guy that he's going to give all praise to. This guy, Will Ospreay, hardly ever loses. Hardly ever loses. I do not believe they are going to save the world title win for Darby Allin. And if they do, Darby Allin better be at All In winning that fucking belt, or otherwise get that motherfucking belt off of Jon Moxley. Because this shit has gone on long enough that it's getting old really fast. I am tired of watching Jon Moxley with the title. And I hate saying that because I've always been a big fan of his. But as of late, this has been dreadful as fuck. Really, this is fucking bloody awful. We get to see clips of FTR attacking Cope at Dynasty. And then we also get the Hurt Syndicate coming out. MVP begins to speak and says, "This is the official announcement from the Hurt Syndicate." He tells everyone that 2 more challengers got beat down. MVP begins passing out bottles and glasses with a table set up in the ring. They toast to another successful championship defense, and then MJF comes out. He stands next to Shelton, smiles, acting as if he's part of the group because he partially helped them at the Dynasty pay-per-view. Lashley does not look amused. MJF tells them that they hurt people and how they are dripped in gold. He says this could not have come at a better time because Tony Khan wanted him to take part in the Owen Hart tournament and for him to sweat balls. Well, I'm glad they addressed that. He mentioned that Tony Khan wanted him part of the Owen Hart tournament. That was a nice touch by Tony Khan adding that in there. He probably heard people complaining as to why the fuck MJF's so interested in joining the Hurt Syndicate when there's a tournament going on that could give him the shot at the fucking Triple B anytime he wants, as long as he wins the fucking damn tournament. But he explains he don't want to work harder, he wants to work smarter. I don't know how fucking smart this is, trying to continuously try to prove yourself to a group that you don't even fucking need. He clearly could go ahead, go with FTR. He was formerly part of a team called The Pinnacle back in the early days of AEW, I'd say in 2020. Formed those 3 guys together with him and those 2 other guys, Cash Wheeler and Dax Hardwood, and have them as part of his group. And they could smash through the entire AEW roster. The FTR can win the tag team titles from the Hurt Syndicate. We got some tag team wrestling going on of some sort, not by much, but at least we have 2 teams that legitimately have a reason to be there, competing over belts instead of just random tag teams challenging for tag team gold. Jeez Louise, what the fuck is wrong with this company? But yeah, I would bring back the Pinnacle with FTR. Instead of having him stand around like a fucking putz, looking like an idiot, and going ahead and begging and pleading these groups of ass wipes that don't have a care in the world to have him part of the fucking group. I don't get it. So he talks about, but he works smarter, not harder, and now that he is rolling with the Syndicate, he gets to take back what it is, his, and that is the Triple B. He says this is a perfect business relationship. He scratches their backs, and they get to help him. He asks MVP how the initiation works, and Lashley tells him to shut up. Thank God. Everyone saw what MJF did, and MJF tried to help them, but he didn't get the job done. He tells him that is another reason why they don't need him. MJF tells him not to point at him, and both men begin to argue. Shelton and MVP get in the way to break it up. MVP tells MJF that they go way back, but in order for MJF to join the syndicate, he has to have 3 thumbs up from each member. Well, he has to have a thumb up from each member, meaning 3. MVP puts his thumb up. Shelton puts his sideways and then turns it down. Shelton and Lashley hug and leave the ring, signifying that 2 thumbs down, 1 thumb up. MVP looks at MJF, shrugs, and leaves the ring. MJF is standing in the ring, angry as the Hurt Syndicate head to the back. Great. Owen Hart tournament for Thunder Rosa and Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander wins the match. Fucking ridiculous. Thunder Rosa can't even buy a fucking victory. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong are backstage, and they all talk about how it is a new era in AEW. Really? A new era, huh? I'm a little confused by that. This is a new era? What is the new era of AEW? The shit era? I think that's the appropriate name for this era. It's called the shit era of AEW. I think that's the perfect era for them to call themselves. The shit era. TV time with the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho. This was a blessing in disguise, this promo. Jericho's gone. That's the end of the whole premise of this story, this segment. Jericho brings out Big Bill and Brian Keith. Big Bill stands up with the microphone, stops Jericho from talking, and he says, "Look, I came to join you because you are a very skilled wrestler. I believe you have a lot of knowledge, and I wanted to learn from you. But if you had us come out here to berate us and talk to us like dirt, we're walking out of here right now. Brian Keith and I are sick of it." Jericho went ahead and he said, "Look, I didn't have you come out here to shit on you." He said, "I'm not even angry at you guys." He said that, in my time of need, some people would say you should have been there for me, but because you suffered a disappointing loss and you tried your best, I can't be mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just disappointed in you. And he keep repeating that over and over and over again while he smashes the baseball bat, Floyd, the baseball bat, into the fucking HD television or 4K television he had in the for the prop on the promo that he was doing. And he smashed it multiple times to the point where there was no screen left and all you could see is a light in the back of the fucking TV set. And that's it. Jesus Christ. Multiple times of smashing the shit out of this fucking poor television set that probably was worth close to $1,000 maybe. He goes ahead and he says, "That's it. I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm not coming back until you guys figure this shit out." He's finished. So we got our notification, I should say, that Jericho is written off television at this point. Hopefully to never be seen again. At least that's what most people hope for. Myself, I'm not really a hater of Chris Jericho, but I say if you got nothing important for him that's going to work, don't have him on the show. Bring him back when you got something valuable that people are going to give a shit about him. Otherwise, keep him off the fucking show. If you want him to take part backstage, do storylines, if he can actually produce a good story, or work with the talent and whatnot, that's okay. But to just throw him on this show just for the sake of throwing him on there because of his name, I think is absolutely retarded. And a waste of his time and everyone else's time. And it only hurts Chris Jericho in the long run by the fans. The fans' opinion has dropped heavily for Chris Jericho. They don't want him on the show. And they were happy he announced he was going away. They were chanting, na, 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 hey, goodbye. So Jericho was really being loved by the fans because he was saying goodbye. He ain't coming back until Big Bill and Brian Keith can straighten out their shit. Now, with that stated, I don't know if they're going to. Clearly, we may not even see them remotely on television anymore on Dynamite. Collision, possibly. Or they just might be completely forgotten about and never used again. Which would hurt Big Bill's case because out of the two, I care more about Big Bill than I do about fucking Brian Keith. I think Brian Keith is a waste of fucking time. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Jericho, after they go off they go on commercial break, they come back, and he starts smashing some more things with Floyd the Bat backstage, and then he gets into his vehicle and goes away. And that's it. Great. Cut backstage, the Hurt Syndicate. Lashley says everyone knows MJF is not to be trusted. He doesn't like MJF and they don't need him. Shelton says they don't need anyone, but little George Costanza is funny. And they both walk away. It seems like Shelton Benjamin's coming around with MJF being part of the group. In comes MJF, who asks MVP if he looks like a female dog. Clearly, I guess MVP must be a bitch, or MJF must be a bitch, because he continues to dance like a fucking Nimrod for these three geeks that he doesn't really need help with. Just makes him look weak. MVP asks him what his point is. MJF says he keeps being treated like a bitch, but he is MJF. MVP tells him that's the problem. They know who he is. And this is business. And in business, you find your consumer, you find out what they want, and you give it to them. Sounds like a good salesman right there. Alright, so we get the main event, which honestly I did not give a flying turd about. Death Riders lose, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, facing the ops of Samoa Joe and Hook. And Samoa Joe and Hook actually end up winning the match. Samoa Joe gets the submission on Wheeler Yuta and makes him tap out from a rear naked choke. And then from there, the attack begins by the Death Riders. Rinse and repeat. Same old crap. Seems like something Tony Khan mentioned several times on interviews that he had a problem with WCW back in the day with the NWO, is always finishing the show and attacking their enemies with a multi-man beat-up on one person. Seems very similar to what we just saw here tonight with the Death Riders, which we see almost every single week. So, I'd like to know what the fuck Tony Khan's talking about, since he's pretty much doing what he thinks WCW shouldn't have done in the first place with the NWO. I really am dumbfounded by all this. I think this is absolute garbage television. And, yeah. Samoa Joe gets on the microphone after Hook gets put through, well, not really put through, but he's slammed into a chair that's unfolded, basically sitting upwards, and his stomach went right into that portion of the chair, and hurt him pretty bad. It was a rough spot for Hook. He took a really bad spot there. Samoa Joe got pissed off like he usually does. Sounded great. and challenges the Death Riders for the Trios Tag Team titles to end the show. And that's it. That's what we got, folks. That's your AEW Dynamite review for April 9th, 2025. So what do you guys think? You think the show was good? Was it bad? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the show. Me personally, I think it's a mid to shit show, I would say. And not a whole lot stuck out to me. I was not highly intrigued by this fucking show whatsoever. But that's just me. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As well as go ahead and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And I appreciate you guys' time. And I hope to speak to you, well, no hope. I will speak to you guys again soon tomorrow for some MMA news and rumors. As well as boxing news and rumors if you guys are interested in any of that. And I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.